Well, hello, 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 and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all that good holiday stuff. It's your girl, Sean LeRae with Boss Talk LA. So tonight, I am beyond excited about my guest. So this guest is someone that I have known most of my life. We met somewhere where I was like maybe 5 years old, 6 years old, or something like that. And you know how you have that friend that no matter the miles, no matter the distance, the time that you don't see or speak to one another, when you pick up that phone, it is always right where you left off. That's the kind of friend that I am about to introduce you to. She is in the healthcare, health and wellness world, and among a ton of other things that she does. And so before I get too excited and just jump right out of my seat, I am going to bring to you my dear friend and a real boss, Miss Paula Green Smith.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Happy Chris Quantica.
Oh, I like it.
Someone
See,
said that to me yesterday, and I said I'm coining that. I got to take it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Happy Chris Quantica. Ooh,
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. That's perfect. So welcome to Boss Talk, Paula.
Welcome to you, to my living room and to my space.
Girl, that
Thanks to
tree is
technology, we
doing
can do
things.
that now. Thank
I
you,
love your
thank you.
tree.
You know, it's a story behind everything I do, Sean.
Of course, just like
I have to
me.
tell you about that tree later on, but for years I refused to spend more than $20 for a Christmas tree. So I
Oh,
had to
you
go
did
out.
tell me that story. You
Yeah,
did
I had to
tell
go
me
all
that.
out and give a little money to the cause this year. But
Well, it's beautiful. Your trees are always gorgeous. We just got our Christmas tree tonight. Cousin and I went down to the Home Depot lot, and they
hmm
had some really sad looking trees. But we found one that was green all the way through, and all the branches were nicely done. And so we brought her home, and well, ooh, girl, getting her up in the little stand was, yeah, it was a thing. But
sister was tired, huh?
yeah, she's in there. She's hanging tight. She kind of lean a little bit over this way, but she will be all decorated, beautiful and beautified, and all will be well soon.
Oh, I
So
know that. I know that with you and cousin, I know that.
absolutely. So
No
even
doubt.
because Paula, in fact, speaking of cousin Marquita Lynn Smith,
hmm hmm
um, that's how Paula and I met, was through my
Yes,
cousin, because her and Pam, your sister, were good friends,
yes,
right?
yes. At church, we all
At
were friends.
church.
Marquita's
Yes.
in between Pam and myself, so in age.
Yes.
So
Yes. That's
she was
too
one of
funny.
those
So
friends who was
that's
like the tug of war. But you had the sister tug of war with the friends. It's like,
right.
no,
Now,
that's
whose
my
friend is
friend.
she?
No, it's my friend. It's my friend. It's my friend.
Exactly. And then when it came to the point where they didn't want to be bothered with you, then that's when we met, and you and I hung and still tried to hang with them.
Okay, except I don't know if it was that they didn't want to be bothered with us. We found a common goal. Remember, we were in between Sunday school and
And
church,
church.
and Pam and Marquita weren't quite as adventurous, I'll call it,
Yes,
as
that's for
we were
sure.
when we took our collection money and went down to Mr. Hackney's store down the street across the alley from the church, put
Yes.
our collection money in Mr. Hackney's candy in his cash register for the candy.
Yes.
And then remember what we did, Sean?
If I recall, we, instead of putting the money that we had been given for the collection plate, we were very creative, and instead we put the lemon heads in the collection plate.
Absolutely, because surely the people counting the money, and especially God, could appreciate that we shared the bounty.
That's right. And they could
We
also
shared it.
appreciate our creativity and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, yeah, that's how we explained it later on when we learned
Yeah,
those
right.
words.
Right.
At that time, it was like, oh, how are we going to get out of this? Well,
Yeah,
God created this, and we spent the money on God's creation, put it in the dish, and we
right.
did.
We were sharing. We were sharing.
Yes.
So
Now,
that's
at that point,
kind
I
of,
didn't think about my father was the head trustee and was counting the money, and he had no doubt as to who put that money in that, who put those lemon heads in that collection plate.
absolutely, absolutely.
All the people in that church, he never asked a question. He said, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?"
What really? What was the reason? What was the reason?
Or you know what he would say? "What were you thinking?" And he was speaking third
Right.
person. Daddy just wants to know what you were thinking.
That's right.
Like,
That's right. Clearly, we were not,
right.
or at least we were thinking in our own special way, which
But
is
that
what
was
I
the start
love.
of something so great.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's what I love, because you and I have been blessed to be able to do that throughout our lives.
Yes,
How cool is that?
that's so cool. I mean, we have met even when, because for the audience, we lived in different parts of town. Didn't go to the same schools, never went to the same
Never went to
schools.
the
So we
same.
always met at church and talked on the telephone. But then we would lose track for a little bit and come right back together and never miss a beat. Remember, we met in traffic court. We met in traffic
Okay,
court.
we really probably should tell them about that one, because that was really funny. So, if I recall, we were 16. Yes, we had just gotten
Yes,
our license,
just got our license. Yes.
both of us. So it had to be the summer, because you're a little bit behind me. And you turned 16 in the summer, and I turned in the dead of winter,
No,
right?
it was the fall. It was the fall because we both had
Yeah,
gone back to school. And remember, I was in
right,
my little
right.
Catholic girl's uniform with my black and white saddle shoes, and you had on the same saddle shoes because they were your cheerleading shoes.
I had on my cheerleading uniform,
That's
and
right.
we ended up in traffic court. I I ran a red light due to speeding, and Paula, you hit
I
a
hit
parked
a car.
car.
You
You
know,
hit
you
a
know, I
parked
always
car,
have to
right?
go. I have no stopping sense, as my daddy said. I had to go a little too far. I hit the car. But it was a parked car, if that means anything. I didn't hit a
Right,
moving
right,
car.
right. It wasn't a moving. Well, do they still consider that a moving violation? I think they do. But
Somehow I ended up in court. Well, you
yeah,
know what? Maybe it wasn't for that. Maybe it was for when I ran, because I ran a few stop signs and stuff.
no, that
Yeah.
one was
So,
for the car. That was for the parked car. I remember.
so I was in
That was the
court.
parked car. And so as fate would have it, here I am with my daddy in traffic court on the same day, and there's Paula and her daddy, and they looked at each other and just went,
No, mommy. It was mommy, Sean. Remember?
"Was it mommy for you?"
It was mommy for you and daddy for you and dad for you. My mom was the one there.
That
Dad was at work.
okay. Okay.
And
Got it.
my mom and your dad had more insight to
That's
who
true.
we were going to become and
Yes,
what
that
we
is
were
fair.
really about. My father was forever shaking his head. He was distressed by me. He would love my daughter now because she's everything he wanted me to be.
Yes, she is
Calm and
calm.
disciplined and,
Yes,
all the obedient, all those
all of
things
those
that
things.
kind of
Yeah.
escaped me.
Sometimes we look at my goddaughter and go, wonder how that happened.
I know. It's like, whose child are you?
She's
Anytime
so
you have to tell your
responsible.
child, we had this conversation. Anytime you have to say to your child, you are in college, party, girl, party.
Yes,
You
have
got to
fun.
party. This is
Do
the time to
something.
party. She's like, well, there's no real purpose for that party. It's not a fundraiser. They weren't doing something for, I'm like, girl, if you don't party for no reason at all, just because you can,
Exactly. And we
whose
still
child
do
are
that.
you?
And we still do that. That is so funny. Yes, she was so level-headed and still is,
She still
as
is. I always
an
say she was
adult,
sitting here to
married,
straighten
beautiful
me.
woman. Huh?
Right. She was sent here to keep me on the straight and narrow and to keep you on the straight and narrow from
As
afar.
well. I love it. I love it. Well, you know what I love, Paula, is we're talking tonight about longtime friendships, um, health in the Black community,
Ooh.
and just pure joy. And I love that, because I think that for us, you are my friend who has always been able to be the same joyous, fun-loving human that I turned out to be or was born to be. And so it's always been like a true adventure where we've created just pure joy in our
I think
lives.
so. I think so. I think
I
that's a testament to
love
our
it.
family. I think it's a testament to our families, our upbringing, our parents, who were the reason we connected anyway, because they both, our parents, had us in
Yes.
church. And we always had, I think, a well-rounded existence. We were taught, even though we love to party and have fun, we knew there was a time and place for everything. Even
Everything.
when we didn't show it, we knew it. And we always came back to that centering, that grounding uh, that we knew our parents expected of us, that they instilled in us, that they
Mhm.
exemplified for us. So
Yes.
I think that's why. And I think that the other really, really good point about that, Sean, is that I think we've always been able to find joy no matter what is going on, because that's how our parents were.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
so no matter what, they always said, whatever you have to work through, whatever's going on, it's something that's preparing you for what you got to be and what
Mm.
you're gonna
Come on.
be. So
Come on.
so embrace it and grow through it. I think
Yes.
they were the first ones to say that, grow through it. And
Grow
and,
through it.
and yeah, my father always said, a mistake isn't a problem if you learn from it. It's a
That's it.
lesson. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh. Ooh, did y'all hear that? A mistake is not a problem if you learn from it. It is a
yeah,
lesson. And
yeah.
I love that. And I think that, when I think about, and this show is called Boss Talk, it's bold, one of a kind,
Mhm.
sensational superstars. And although we were young and and we thought we were all that and two bags of chips, and we were, but
We were boss every time we played any game. If it was house, there was a boss in the house. When we were
yes, there
it,
was the boss of the house.
if it was school, it was a boss teacher. We were the teacher.
Yes,
We always thought we
yes,
were boss.
yes. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the teacher. No, Shauna, you can't be the teacher. Then I'm not gonna play.
Right. Or how about now? I shouldn't even admit this. I have people laughing about this sometimes, and then they probably talk about me like a dog behind my back. But I can remember, I can remember when I couldn't hula hoop. I just couldn't get the hula hoop. And as much as we were dancers and all, I could not get that groove of a hula hoop. So I made everybody think it wasn't cool. It was like, what's up with that? That is not even cool.
That is stupid.
Here's what you do with a hula hoop. And I put it on my foot and did that little jump rope
Yeah,
thing,
you
because
can
I
do
could do
that.
that. I just couldn't get the hip with all these hips. Even as a little girl, I had my hips, and I still couldn't get that little hula hoop groove going.
I could then. I'm mad because I can't do it anymore. I don't know what happened.
But even through that, it was like, okay, if you can't do something, you build on what you can do,
That's it.
and grow from that, and not make anybody feel bad about the fact that they can do it and you can't. But center yourself on what you can do and grow from that. That's the lesson I think
Absolutely.
we got out of our lives, and I think that's why we've always been able to find joy.
Absolutely. And I think, like you said, our parents instilled that in us, and that actually stuck like glue, and it has sustained us throughout our lives. And
Yeah,
I just
it
love
wasn't
that.
an option. That's the other part.
That's for sure.
Think about it. It wasn't an option. I remember one time I told my father, I was all moping around. It was over one of my first boyfriends or something, or I thought I had a boyfriend, and I was moping around. My father said, "What's the matter with you?" And someone had said the word depressed. So I said, "Oh, I'm depressed." And my father said, "Excuse me? What do let's talk about that." This is before people really recognize that
Right.
depression is something that you really need to focus on. And I didn't know that. And it probably wasn't that at all, but I had just heard the
Right.
word and thought I would throw it around like I heard other words and threw them around. And he
Right.
was like, "No, we're going to sit and work through this, because there's something that needs to be talked about and worked through so that you can grow and get beyond whatever this is." And
I love
so I just think that is something that we were blessed, so blessed to have.
yes,
And
absolutely.
even though they're all gone, both our parents are gone now, but I mean, don't you hear them all the time
All
still?
the time.
All the
All
time.
the
We
time.
can't stop hearing them.
All the time.
So
Terrence
what?
says,
I know. Did you see that? I'm looking at Terrence says, "Hi, Mom and Gotti Sean. You were you were quite mischievous." But you know what? That's Terrence. That's my daughter
that's
saying
the
that. Did
daughter.
you see Jennifer? My little sis from St. Ursula, Jennifer, said, St. Ursula said, "Hey, my big sisters," because Jennifer also was the one that kind of supported us and thinking that we were bosses all the time.
Yes, that's so true. That is so true.
Jennifer
And
thought
she
we were
agreed
bosses when we were trying not to be.
with right, right. And she says, yes, we were quite mischievous.
Hey, Jen, you had your part in it too, Jen. Don't
That's
play.
right. That's right. You were not
I was
all without cause. You were not innocent.
no,
Not
no.
completely.
She was an enabler.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, but
I
it was
love it.
it's all good. And you know
But
what? We could go ahead.
no, you go. Go ahead.
I was going to say we could go on and on about the stories and the ways that we just had so much fun and did so many things that people wouldn't believe happened in Little Toledo. But
My gosh, absolutely.
because I have a hard time making people understand that when I grew up in Toledo, they didn't have dirt roads. I mean, they really had paved streets and a
Right,
transit
exactly.
system, and everything all the other cities had. It was just a small city, a smaller city.
Exactly.
So
It was the
yeah.
crystal tea. And
Yes, and the glass capital of the world.
that's
Nobody
right.
knows that but us. You had
That's
to
why
be
it was
born and
called
raised in
the
Toledo to
crystal
know that.
tea. Absolutely.
Yes,
We also had one of the best art museums in the country.
still ranked very high, and one of the
Yes,
top zoos in the country.
that's right. That's absolutely right.
So I used to tell
That is
everybody,
so
if
true.
you're going to Toledo, go to the zoo, go to the museum, and go to the freeway and get the heck out of there. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding. No.
for sure. Get your family and then peace out. We're gone. Hey, cousin Cricket. My cousin is on Cricket. Cricket knows about all of
Hey,
this
cousin
stuff.
Cricket.
You remember Cricket, Mary Ellen?
Oh, I know Mary Ellen. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
remember us calling her Cricket. That must have been
listen.
the inside family thing because I was extended family.
Yes, yes. And let me tell you something. One time I went back home to Toledo and I was going to surprise Cricket at work. And I got to her job and I realized I did not know her name.
Oh, not cool.
I could not
You didn't
remember.
go to work
Like,
asking for Cricket.
look, I had got old, but I did call. I called and I got, this is God, I got the one person who knew that her nickname was Cricket. Do you remember that, cousin?
Ah,
That is so
that's
funny.
funny.
I'm,
That's
I'm
funny.
sorry, you all. I go between the heat and the cold. And so that's why I am leaning over. Um,
The, I'm trying not to shine and sweat because I have the fireplace going over here, thinking I was setting a mood, and forgot this ring light and the heat. So I'm doing my best not to be a moving puddle for you.
well, no, that's why I have both the heater and the fan. Because
Okay.
we are women of a certain age. Hello.
Yes. Yes. Proudly.
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 Oh yes, we wear it well. We wear it very well, and that's also what being a boss is about. It's about living in the fullness of your gifts and living life to the absolute nth power.
Yes.
That's what
I love it. I love it.
I'm saying.
That's well put. At this age and stage, see, we found a way to truly articulate our existence, and I love it.
Yes,
I
yes,
love it.
yes.
So that's a message for everybody. Just embrace where you are, find the good in it, and anything that doesn't feel so good, recognize that there's somebody somewhere that would die to have what you have going on and not feeling so great about. And when you
Ex-
look at that, it helps you to just kind of put things in perspective and make it work for you. You make what you are going through work for you.
Absolutely,
Period. Yeah.
absolutely. And even for this time in my life, as you are well aware, and
Yeah.
my audience out there is aware too, that I lost my king William Joseph to COVID in February, and this weekend I got to go away with my girl Chantel Denise, and we went to Santa Barbara area. We were kind of all over the place out there, but we stayed in Buellton at the Sideways Inn, and it's a cute little place that William and I had planned to go but didn't get to go to. And so I wanted to go there, and I wanted to do something that honored him. And
Mm-hmm.
though, this is probably the most difficult thing I've ever gone through. And I've had some stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I've lost both of my parents at this point, and that was hugely difficult. But losing William was like my parents were assigned to me, but I chose William and he chose me.
Yeah.
And so that makes
Yeah.
it, just all the more difficult to deal with. However, I have chosen to grieve out loud and
Hmm.
grieve in a way that honors our life, so I get myself focused in the memories and I live in those. I focus on the joy that we had.
Yeah.
We were just so silly and we laughed and had such a great time, and we had a great time visiting you guys in Detroit, and when you guys came out here for the
Yes.
wedding, and just there's just so many beautiful and amazing things that I get to reflect on.
Yeah, he was such a big presence, and
Yes.
he like our parents. You hear him all the time. I hear him laughing. I hear his little quips. I see his facial expression still, and so that brings me joy to know that if I have that much in my memory bank about him, I know that you have so much more that
Yeah.
you can build on. So that gives me comfort in knowing that I can't hug you, my dearest, two of my dearest friends. I can't hug you because you've been in California and I'm here in Michigan, and going through all that was really tough. But that gives me comfort in knowing the kind of person he was, and what kind of memories and just his presence that's left with you. And that gives me comfort in knowing that that's there for you. That will
Yeah.
always be with you.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. And I think it's like what your dad said when you said you were depressed. He didn't, sweep it under the rug. He
Hmm.
didn't do that. He acknowledged what you were feeling, but he also wanted to provide you with the understanding that you don't have to stay there, you
Yeah.
know, that there's
Yeah.
help, that you can do that. And I think that, as a therapist, for me, I definitely know that depression is 100% real, but my job is not to let you live in that. My
Yeah.
job is
Not to
to,
let it become you.
yes, it's to define you, right?
Yes.
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 And to
Yeah.
find tools that will bring you back to who you are-ness is my word I love. And bring you back to that, and allow you to really experience life in the way that God intended you to.
Yeah.
And
Now my father would have been what 97 years old now. So when I was young, they didn't know. Black parents in general didn't know anything about depression,
absolutely.
mental illness, and nothing like that. And so his thing was just he would get to, and I always say that my father was really really ahead of his time without knowing it, because what he would say is, let's you talk about that, then let's figure it
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
because it was just something we needed to work through. And he would always say, we're black people in America. What are you talking about? Do you know our ancestors have this, that, done this, that, and the other, and they kept on moving. They had to do that. So what are you talking about? What is it that you can't work through? And so
Mhm.
that was his kind of therapy.
Right.
He wasn't a therapist. We didn't, but
Right.
that was my therapy from my father, because he was like, you're going to work through whatever this is. We're going to work through it. And it would
Mhm.
get to the point where it was like, I know not to tell him I'm sad about something. Let me go somewhere and work it out before I let
Right.
him
Right.
know. That when I come
Right.
to him, let me come with solutions. Now, my
Yeah.
mother would coddle me a little bit and say, okay, but we really go on and cry and get that over with. And what mommy's solution
Yeah.
was to everything. We're going to talk it out. We're going to cry, get it over with. And what we're
And
going to
we're
do,
going
let's go
shopping.
shopping.
Don't I know?
I remember one time I went shopping with her. I was upset about something. I bought some shoes. Later on, she said, you got rid of those shoes, right? I haven't seen you in those shoes. I said, well, no, I can't really find anything to match them. She said, that's because they're really ugly. I said, Mom, why didn't you tell me they were ugly when you bought them for me? She said, that's how you were feeling that day. I let you do it.
I let you have that. I love it.
But I am so glad you don't wear those and you can't find anything to match them, because they don't match anything. They're really ugly.
Paula, I can hear her right now saying, "Ooh, yeah, no, Paula, no. Those are no, Paula, no."
but she knew I was feeling something, so she let me feel what
Right.
I was
She let
feeling.
you
But
go
later on,
through
she said,
that.
"Don't wear those around me, at least." She used to tell us, "Look, you, you better put something on your lips. You are missing in action. You got some lipstick." some chapstick or something. You're missing in action.
Well, and you remember Stephen J.
Oh gosh, I was thinking about
And
Stephen Day today.
that's so funny because his thing for us was, don't you go out of that house without at least a line under your eye.
Eyes, thank you. He
To this
remember
day.
oh my gosh, remember he called me Miss Midwest or something when I came to New York. He's like, here. But that's how Joffrey was with us, Jennifer's
Yes,
brother.
absolutely.
Joffrey would see you be
He's
walking
our
out thinking you
fashion
were
expert.
sharp. Right.
That's
You think
right.
you're
That's
sharp
right.
walking out of their house, and Joffrey would say, come here for a minute. And you walk over there and he go like Edward Scissorhands, and you turn around,
Yeah.
your outfit would be completely different, and you were so fabulous.
You were like, ooh, ooh,
It
look
was
at
like,
me.
oh, we need a Joffrey check before we leave the house.
That's right.
That's a
That's right.
shout out to Jennifer and Joffrey in Atlanta.
Yes,
Jennifer
in
is on.
the ATL. In the ATL. Jennifer
Some other
sends,
Toledo influence.
yes, yes. And Mary Ellen she says, oh yes, it is Mary Ellen, aka Cricket from Toledo.
That's all right.
Absolutely.
The
Thank you
fabulous
for
Mary
joining
Evan.
us. Go ahead.
So cool. I was going to say that, when I first moved to Detroit, I've told you people used to think Detroit, they always thought Toledo was such a small, hick town. So it got to the point where I would say I was from Toledo really fast and hope people thought Spain. But I quickly had to clean that up. They were like, you Spanish? Really? Well, not really.
Not,
Not really,
kind of
a
like,
Spaniard from Ohio kind of thing, but yeah,
right.
it's fun. I've
But,
come to, when I had to spend more time in Toledo with mommy's illness, I actually came to appreciate a lot more about Toledo. Toledo can be it's a real cool place, actually. There's a lot going on there. It's not, it's not the big city, but it's got some really quaint treasures going on there. And I am just thankful for the experience that we had in Toledo. From our
absolutely.
ballet, our modern dance, our orchestra, the symphony,
All of
everything in Toledo. Yeah.
All of that, yes. Our African dance with the Muziakaya.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Paula and I have gone. We have danced every kind of dance there is to dance.
Oh gosh. How about remember the Jungle Boogie one?
Oh
That you
my,
put me in at the last minute. Remember your
that
friends,
was
you and your friends from
Mona,
Rogers. Mona.
Mona, Gloria.
It
I
was
think
someone else. It was about
Gloria,
four
and I
of you.
think it was Michelle.
Michelle, yes. But do
God
you
bless
remember
her
someone
soul.
dropped out? Something happened and someone
Yes.
dropped out and you called me. Park, I know you can do it. Come on. So I
Come
get
on.
there and I'm last minute learning this dance. I remember
Jungle
the
Boogie.
sweaters.
Woo, woo, Jungle
Right.
Boogie.
We were young because we danced in black sweaters with silver
Silver.
lining through
Yep,
them.
we had a
Remember those
circle.
sweaters?
Didn't they have a circle like your outfit right now?
Kind of like this.
A little
It was,
circle.
but all this was silver. Then it
Yep.
was a sweater, though. We were
Yeah.
young to dance like that. That we danced hard to Jungle
In a
Boogie
sweater.
in the
Yeah.
sweater.
Yeah, not gonna do that today.
No, 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 no. They would be bringing out the mops for us
Oh, but
today.
the good thing, Paula, is that we will still dance like that today. We
Oh,
will
I
still
do
get
all the
going.
time. I did Saturday night. I had a ball. We danced so hard at this party Saturday night. Luckily, it was a large space, the Rooster Tail here in Detroit. Very, very high ceilings. They had reduced the crowd to by 100 people, so there were smaller numbers at the tables. But it was such a good time. It was so good to be able to be out and just have that kind of fun because they haven't had the party in a couple of years now. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
really nice.
We've been able to go dancing and dance outdoors because our
Yeah.
friend has a wonderful place called, and I'll give him a shout out, the Conference Room in Playa Vista. And it's beautiful and it has white lights and the food is yummy. And we go there and eat and then dance it off. And
Yeah, that's how it was Saturday. And
Chantel
even the
Denise,
food was good though. The food they even had rainbow trout. They cooked
ooh,
there for us that they pan seared for us there and green beans. So it was my kind of food, just fresh green beans, light food, and because they knew we were going to dance hard, so it was really
yes,
really cool. But it
that's
was just
awesome.
so good to be able to have that kind of fellowship right now. So
Yes, absolutely. The last time we were there at the conference room, Chantel Denise was playing, And we all were there just, and I had a bunch of friends, cousin came, and we just danced. And I love that they ended it with the bass player kind of telling this little story about, like, you know, they're going to tell us how they do it and how Chantel Denise does it. And then they did, "This is how we do it."
We do
And we
it.
lost our minds. We just danced and had a great time. I still love that, you know, that we can get to do that, even though COVID has been, you know, what it's been, and it's been
Yeah.
very difficult. But it's beautiful to be able to just get out and just dance and, you know, just move and groove and just forget, you know, about
Yeah.
all the problems and all the pandemicness of the world right now, and just have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's in my world of work, you know, as you mentioned that I'm in public health, a public health nonprofit, and we work on chronic disease management and prevention. And
mm,
so knowing that so many of our population, our community members have comorbidities, you know, if, you know, we have, you can't go three deep without running into hypertension, diabetes, you know, all kinds of different conditions that are so prevalent in our community that put us at greater risk of death for anything like this. So I
absolutely.
just encourage everyone to do what they have to do to bring this to a halt. And, you know, I
Yes,
know people have their strong opinions and their strong reasons for not wanting the vaccination, but if you're not going to do that, then take the necessary precautions. You know,
yes,
my husband and Philip and I both had COVID early on in March of
remember.
20, and it was the most frightening thing ever. Thank God we pulled through, but we didn't think we were going to pull through.
I
And
remember.
so to, you know, to be on this side of it and hear people discount, and then for you to go through what you have gone through in losing William, and to hear people discount the severity of this, it's kind of frightening. So I don't mean to go dark, but I do know that
No,
if we are true bosses, we can have our fun like we always have, but we also have to take care of business.
yes, you have
And
to
that means taking care of our own
handle
business
yourself.
imperative, which is yourself. Keep your health together. Do everything you can to be able to live your best life. You know, I love how everybody was into living my best life. It's like, are you really living your best life? Because if
Right.
you're living your best life, you're going to take care of yourself physically, mentally, you know, financially, most everything you can. You need to take care of all aspects of that life to live for it to truly be your best life.
Absolutely. You better preach. Thank you. Absolutely. And let's talk more about the work that you do in the health and wellness space, because I know
Mhm.
that you have an organization that you work with, and I think you're the CEO, is that correct?
So
Of
I'm the
the
CEO of Urban
Urban
Health Resource here in
Resource.
Detroit,
Yes, tell
but
us
I'm
a little
also the
bit
chief
about that.
training officer of the Black Women's Health Imperative.
That's
So Urban
right.
Health Resource is a public nonprofit, a nonprofit organization that was established in 1992 before the Affordable Care Act. We were established to help to make sure we provided insurance for the underinsured and uninsured population of Wayne County. Those populations either were, you know, going without health care or using
Mhm.
the emergency rooms as their primary care for their primary care. And so at that time in 1992, there was a federal funding formula in place that enabled um, municipalities to maximize their federal funds by partnering with a nonprofit organization.
Mhm.
So this nonprofit Urban Health Resource, at that time it was called Urban Hospital Care Plus. We changed our name later on, but Urban Hospital Care Plus was established to meet the needs of those individuals that were underinsured or uninsured and were therefore using the emergency rooms for primary care. And so we provided a partnership with other entities, with providers, insurance companies, to be able to allow them to have affordable insurance and affordable health
Mhm.
care. Over the years, our mission has had to evolve. So when the Affordable Care Act was actually in the makings, we did a lot of lobbying and informational sessions, and we even were some of the first, or one of the first organizations to help individuals enroll in the Affordable Care Act once it became law.
Mhm.
And then we also moved into the space of preventive health care. And in doing that, we became a provider of the CDC's National Diabetes Prevention Program.
Love
And we
it.
were that because the Black Women's Health Imperative, a national nonprofit established in '82, was funded by the CDC to take that program to scale in 2012. And we were one of the original partners that they funded to deliver the program here in Detroit. And from that, my background is education, training, and development. And, I always say I'm a legitimized busybody. So, as we were always busybodies as
Right.
kids and
Absolutely.
told, you're doing too much. Well, I
Right.
figured out, I in order not to have to get in trouble for doing too much, I figured out how to legitimize it.
And how to
So
get
with
paid
Urban
for
Health
it.
Resource, right. So I have to say all that to say I am still the CEO of Urban Health Resource in Detroit, but our funder and partner, we're a partner of the Black Women's Health Imperative. And because of my training and development background, I'm a master trainer of trainers that deliver that program. And I'm also the chief training officer for the Black Women's Health Imperative, who is one of only 13 organizations nationwide that has an MOU with the CDC to provide training for anybody delivering their national diabetes prevention program. So that's how you and I, when we met up in Mississippi last year, remember I was training there.
That's right.
Another one of those when we're out here and somehow, hey, where are you? I'm in Mississippi. Girl, I'm in Mississippi too. Where are you? Wait a minute. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm coming over to Biloxi. I'll meet you.
That is so true. So just like we met up in traffic court, years later,
or at dance class, or at church. Yeah,
exactly. I was speaking at a conference, the Success Women's Conference, and the amazing overseers of that conference, founders of that conference, Kern Crockett Cherry, Tiffany Bell, and Dorothy Wilson, put this conference on in Biloxi. It was amazing. There were women from all over the country, and I got to be one of them. And I happened to call Paula, and she's like, yeah, Philip and I are on the road. That's what you said. And I said, oh, where are you? And you said Mississippi. I was like, what? I'm in Mississippi.
It always happens that way. How about when we pledged our illustrious sorority?
Yes.
Remember, you were at Ohio University,
right?
I was at Bowling Green State.
Hold on. I want to shout out. I got to shout out a soror who is on tonight. Besides Jennifer, of course. Shout out to Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer.
But also Terry Davis from Delta Phi. Hello,
hey, soror.
Joining TT. You may have met her at one of those.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, she was. She pledged with Vanessa.
Oh, yes.
So
okay.
So shout out. Thank you for joining us tonight. So so go ahead. Start telling.
So we have to tell how that happened. Remember, we called each other. We were both in our freshman year.
Yes.
The end of our freshman year, spring semester.
Yes.
Or spring quarter. We were on quarters. Weren't you guys on quarters too?
I think we were on. Yeah, we were. We
were on quarters. And you called and you said, girl, I think I'm going to pledge. I said, oh my goodness, me too. And you said, oh, you better be pledging the same thing I'm pledging. I said, Sean, okay, let's just on the count of 3, let's just say it out loud. And whatever it is, we're going to be all right. And we said 1, 2, 3. AKA. Oh man. No, we said no, we were so into we said alpha, kappa, alpha.
Yes,
you know how dramatic.
So
I remember my roommates were sitting there. My roommates were like, because we were just screaming so much. I dropped the phone. I was going crazy because and then remember we met up in Akron at our first regional convention.
Regional convention. That's right.
Yeah.
And we have, I met your line and you met mine.
Yes.
And shout out to Lanny Salter, soror Lanny
Hey,
Salter.
Lanny.
Happy birthday to you and to Vaughn, because she's a twin. So
happy birthday
to you guys. I know you're over in your igloo in Georgia. Lanny wrote the cutest poem and said that they were going to be out in an igloo celebrating tonight. So
oh wow. Have fun. Jennifer and soror Lanny need to hook up in Atlanta for us.
Yes. And my sans Jennifer is also in Atlanta.
Jenny Jen. Oh man. Okay. So we need another show because that's a whole nother story. Remember that one? Remember? Oh my gosh, that's our summer of
Oh,
Pop
that
Tarts.
was the jazz festival where we
That was
lost
the
our
summer
whole
of Pop
forgot
Tarts, Prolamine, and vanilla
and vanilla
yogurt.
yogurt
Yes, everyone, we lived off of Pop Tarts, Prolamine, and vanilla yogurt, and we're still
for a whole
here and
summer.
healthy.
For a whole summer. So
That
even when,
wasn't the craziest thing.
yeah,
The
that's not the
craziest thing
crazy
was
thing.
the A-frame was broken on your car.
And we're driving
God
along,
takes care of babies and food.
and the noise that the car was making, we said it was
Right, because the car was making that loud screeching noise, and every time we heard it, instead of stopping and getting it checked, we said, "Skee-wee! Oh yes, skee-wee!" We would go
yes,
crazy.
and then when we got back, your father said, "You two so crazy. That's the A-frame is busted on this car."
We had been, but that wasn't even the craziest thing. Jenny Jen, remember Jenny Jen was dating someone, and remember we only had so much money to go down there. We went down there with not much,
Not much. So
and
we had to get a job.
well, okay. I don't know if this is illegal or anything, but I'm going to pray that we're not in trouble for it. But remember, we worked for Kelly Girl, and we were supposed to be
Yes.
getting all these signatures, so we took those with us and got Hamilton County signatures for something in Lucas County. But that's a whole nother talk show.
Girl, I know. So listen,
We thought we were working.
children, do not try this at home. Okay.
No. And my daughter Taryn, no, that was a different mommy. That was not me. That was before I was mommy and
Well,
responsible.
we thought we were being smart, that we were going to get the signatures where we were, but different counties, so not so good. But anyway.
But they paid us anyway. We turned them in and they paid us. But remember,
Oh,
we didn't have any money, and so Jenny Jen's, the guy she was dating, said we could stay at his apartment.
right.
And we said, well, okay, but we're not staying there with you. You
gotta
had the
go.
nerve to have standards. We were like, okay, we'll stay there, but not with you.
Not with you.
Remember, he gave us his apartment for a night, and we stayed there 3 days.
I do. Oh my gosh. We were such a mess and so having fun.
I still can't. I can hear every time I hear the Bobby Caldwell album with "What You Won't Do for Love" on it.
Yes.
When I hear "What You Won't Do for Love" and I hear that song "Come to Me," because remember he was so in love with Jenny Jen, and that was his song. I remember that, and I think of that every time. So Jenny Jen, I don't know if you remember that part of it, but brother man, he was smitten. Okay, and we appreciate him to this day.
To this day, wherever you are.
He was a gentleman. He stayed away. He let us keep his apartment.
He let us have his place. I know. It's so funny though. Isn't it amazing how the world has changed so much? Because some of the things that we were able to do and be safe and get away with, it doesn't happen.
No. I think about even things that we did that were crazy, that were even like crazy, like germ wise. Like, remember when
oh God,
the designer jeans era?
Yeah, the Jordache. No, the Gloria Vanderbilts we had.
I had the Gloria Vanderbilts. You had Jordache.
I had the Jordache.
Do you remember how we got those on in the dressing room?
Yeah,
because they had to be skin tight. Yes. Would you now in this COVID time with all these girl, I walk outside. If I go in the grocery store, I come back and spray myself with alcohol.
Oh, for sure.
We had the nerve to lie down on the floor of a dressing room to zip up those pants.
That's insane. That is so sad.
And prop each other up.
And hey, pretty ladies, Chantel. Hey, Chantel is on here. Hey, Chantel. So you're getting to hear stories about when I was misbehaving in my youth. Now, and
we were innovators.
Chantel and I were shopping Monday night in Santa Barbara, and shout out to that store. I don't know the name of it though, but it was on State Street. And we are such we were wiping down the packages and all of that coming out in the room, like all of that. And so now you have to really be prepared for that. It doesn't mean you can't shop though, because that would be a travesty.
Oh, I know.
But
I even think about how when we've had to go and stay in a hotel since all this has happened, We go with all of our Lysol, our alcohol, we're spraying, we're wiping, we're cleaning. And to think that we were on the floor of a dressing room just almost turns my stomach now.
I
But
know.
we were cute. We were
We
cute.
were very cute. And we had, remember the belts, the
I
wrap
was just
belt?
gonna say, remember, so we bought, okay, everybody. I know people think we're crazy, but we were. So we bought the pink belt, a long belt. That's when you had those belts that wrapped
The
around. They
double
were
belt
super
that
long, and
goes
you,
around.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it wrap around once tight, and then the other part would hang. And we saw this cute long pink one, and we saw a long cute green one. We
that's
said,
right.
"Girl," gave each other five, went out, bought both of them, took the little ring on the middle off, took one off them, and put the pink one on. We had the pink and green belts. I'm telling you, we were innovators.
We truly were. We truly were. See, we were working on being bosses. That's what that was. All those
Oh
years
gosh,
ago. Oh my goodness. Well,
I
I
think
want to go
about it and I
back
get
to the
tickled.
health work that you're doing now
Okay,
because with that health initiative, and I know that you do travel and train, and one of the things that you mentioned was diabetes, and I seem to remember you going to an island somewhere
whew,
and helping
yeah.
those people on that island. Tell us a little bit about that work.
So I went to Kosrae, Micronesia, in the Pacific Islands. I was actually closer. I was on the other side of Guam. I was closer to Japan than I was to home.
Wow.
A little remote island of, when you look it up, it says 5,000 people, around 5 or 6,000, no, 5,500 people. When you say that on the island, they correct you and say, no, we have 7,500 people now. But it's a super little remote island, and they are a part of, and I always say it wrong, I think it's ACTO, an organization out of Arkansas that is funded by the CDC to provide national diabetes prevention program in that area. And I guess it's because Tyson Farms does a lot of recruitment of those populations from Micronesia, and then they also have a connection to that organization. And so the individuals on that island, even though it's this pristine, beautiful, almost untouched island, was like going back in time,
Wow.
very remote, but they eat a lot of taro root and a lot of rice, even though they have all kinds of great seafood, great fruits, but they eat a lot of taro root and rice as well. And so they eat a very starchy diet, and they live a sedentary lifestyle. And therefore, they are a lot of them are overweight, and the level of diabetes, the rate of diabetes is very, very high there. So we went to train lifestyle coaches to deliver the National Diabetes Prevention Program on that island, and not just in Micronesia, but some of the other islands in that area as well. It
Mm,
was an awesome experience, but it was also really enlightening because I went there thinking, okay, surely if the CDC is sending us down here, there's certain things that are going to be in place, and these people have certain, you know, kind of the kinds of accommodations and things that we have here, and it was nothing like that. Nothing
wow.
like that. They were, there weren't any, like the two hotels where one was like a cinder block garage, and the other one was a line of these little hut-like buildings. When I first looked at it, I told Philip, my husband, I said, well, I looked it up online. I said, well, I see they only have two hotels. I'm sure going with the CDC, I'm going to be in the better of the two. So I'm going to be in that one that looks like cinder blocks. But I ended up in the one that looked like Gilligan's Island, like Gilligan Island's huts. And it's amazing how we adjust. How
Mhm.
you just when you look around and recognize that, okay, because when we first got there, it was a shock. It was like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? It was frightening. It had storms all the time there, intermittent power, very no television. I didn't have a phone for a while, so the family was worried, couldn't reach me because they couldn't reach me. But it was amazing how quickly you adapt, especially when you recognize that the people there need what you have to bring to them, and they
Yes.
are so grateful for it, and
Mhm.
they listen, and they are doing great now. Their diabetes rates are still high, but they are able to take what we taught them and teach others, and they're doing much better.
Mhm.
So it was an awesome experience. But Sean, I talk about that experience and how remote it was, and it was, just such a different world. But then when I went into the rural areas of the United States, rural Mississippi,
Yeah.
rural Louisiana, Alabama, um, I was just as amazed at um, just the inability to get healthy foods, the inability or the lack of awareness about what's healthy and how to eat healthy and how to move more. Because the program that we are, teaching, the National Diabetes Prevention Program, is based on just an NIH, National Institute of Health study that proved that individuals that make lifestyle changes basically lose 5 to 7% of their body weight, and they had to be at risk of diabetes. But if they lost 5 to 7% of their body weight and moved increase their physical activity to at least 150 minutes per week, they could prevent diabetes at greater rates than going on metformin.
Wow. See, look,
So we just get creative and show people how to do that, how to be able to eat healthy no matter what is available to you, how to be able to move no matter where you are, how
mhm,
to do the things that are necessary to improve your life. And then that helps with their mental health, because if you can get their
absolutely.
physical health together, that exercise and just doing the things that they need to do to feel better helps them to get their mental health together as well.
Yes, absolutely. And see, it's not a lot of times people think that when we have mental health challenges that like such as depression and all of that, for a lot of women, women are depressed because they're overweight. And so there's a misnomer about overweight and healthy, because you can be a thicker person. You don't have to, and listen, okay, my brain is rushing. So first of all, as African American people, Black people, the body frame is different and thicker,
Okay.
and the standards that we look at that say that we should be this weight and all of those things in order to be considered healthy are not based on our weight in the first place.
Right.
That's number one. Then
Yes.
number two, um, because the world is so cosmetic in terms of you know it's all about what you look like on the outside, and people forget the inside. And so many people are dying on the inside trying to look a certain way
Yes.
on the outside,
Oh yeah.
and then they think they're being healthy, but the way that they are treating or mistreating, I dare to say, their bodies would just break your heart. And so I am
Yeah.
so excited about the work that you guys do to teach people the foods that they need to eat in order to be healthy, because it does not mean starvation as we thought it meant back when we were
Absolutely.
Pop Tart
Absolutely.
and vanilla yogurt. And even, there was the popcorn diet where somebody told us that if you eat all of the same thing, you'll lose weight. So we chose popcorn and
Yes.
popcorn for a
Yes.
week. Of
You
course,
know,
5
we've been on every diet. We've been on
every
the
diet
cookie
known to,
diet,
absolutely, the cookie diet,
the cereal diet. Remember the Special K
the
diet?
Special K
The
diet,
oh
the,
gosh,
the stewardess diet. Remember that? Now they're called flight attendants, but back then it was the stewardess diet.
the stewardess
Um,
diet. Oh,
where you
just so many things. But you're absolutely right. And the thing about the program that we teach, that we facilitate, and again, we are a partner of the Black Women's Health Imperative and delivering this program. So we have partners all over the country delivering the program, and now we have an app where people can participate in the program from wherever they are. You know, whether we have a partner organization in their city or not.
I
But
love
the good thing is, it's not a deprivation diet or program. It's not a diet. We say stay away from the word diet. We just teach you how to change your lifestyle, so you can change your life. Actually, that's the name of the program: Change Your Lifestyle, Change Your Life. We call it CYO squared, so that you can just get healthy and be healthy. And it's a sustainable lifestyle change versus saying, don't ever eat any cookies, don't ever eat any ice cream. Who could ever tell you that? I think about, it's like telling someone,
nobody I've
don't
listened
breathe anymore. The way you're breathing, just don't breathe anymore. Okay, well, really? So we teach people how to eat those things and what to do when you eat those things, and eat them in moderation. Or if you're going to eat those, then don't eat this. And just kind of how to manage
to.
what you're doing with your life so that you can improve your life.
That's right.
And it's exciting work. I've been all over the place doing a lot of things, but it is really exciting because I just get so much gratification out of watching my people develop and into people that are healthier and understand what it takes to be healthy.
Absolutely. And that's so key. That is so key. And, as a holistic therapist, I believe in mind, body, spirit. And so
Yes.
all of the things that you put into your body impact your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because and if you're one who believes that deprivation is the way to go, and then you stop eating, you go cold turkey on all the things that you love to eat, and you start eating, rabbit food and those things like that are not sustainable for a lifestyle change, then your spirit is downtrodden because you're trying to fit into someone else's standard of who you should be. And
and you set yourself up.
Yes, for complete
for
failure.
complete failure. At some point you're not going to be able to do that. And then when you don't, then you feel bad about it. So it's just a vicious cycle. It's
Absolutely.
a vicious cycle. So
sure. Because I learned that no, I don't have to give up ice cream. I have to give up the pint per night. That's right. Like, that's not good. That's not good. Don't do that. But I'm like, I used to tell people, God made ice cream. What are you talking about? Yes, God made ice cream, but he did not say, Shauna Ray, eat it all tonight. He did not say that.
Right.
No matter how good it is. And I try so hard. Like I want, I would be the vegan who eats bacon. I would be, every now and then.
But it's so much, but at least you know that about yourself. That's one of the most beautiful things about age is you know yourself well enough. And if you are honest with yourself, you have what it takes to make anything work for you because you know yourself. For instance, I know it is no way you're going to bring a bag of Twizzlers in here and I'm not going to eat the whole bag.
You've always been the
I don't bring a bag of Twizzlers in here. Now I might get a little package and I'm going to eat that entire package. But if you bring the whole bag in, I know me. I know I don't have that kind of discipline.
Yes.
So it's just about knowing yourself and being secure enough with who you are to be able to use what you got to get where you need to be and what you want.
Ooh, you better
I know. Look, I'm feeling like we listen to Reverend Roberts at church.
That's right.
We got a little cadence going. Yeah, yes.
Absolutely. Chantel Denise says good stuff, and she also, like us, loves some Twizzlers.
Ooh wee. They have the nerve. I digress for a minute. You just look. I'm a sugar. That's like craziness for me. Sugar is really addictive, and I've known it forever. But do you know I went in the store Five Below? So I'm telling everybody that has this problem with sugar, don't go in Five Below and go in that little candy section. They have these foot-long. They might be more longer than that. I don't know the difference between a foot and a yard. So they're very long. They're as long as my arm.
Really long.
They're really long Twizzlers. I mean, like wrap around your body and eat them while they're wrapped around your body, and just I'm talking go crazy. So look to the light if you go in.
That's right.
In Five Below, look to the light and walk away from the Twizzlers
and walk
if you
away.
have my problem.
Step away.
That's a public service announcement.
I love it. Well, listen, we are coming to a close, and I just want to thank you again for coming on. Our thoughts about this show was to talk about old friendships, long time, not old, long time friendships.
I was gonna say, watch out now.
Gotta watch language. Don't be cussing on the show. Long time, lifetime friendships, Black health and wellness, and pure joy. And I just want to say that tonight you have been a pure joy. It's been a pure joy to have you here. You've been a pure joy my entire life. And Chantel says that she is going tomorrow to get those Twizzlers, by the way. So.
Oh no! You don't make me feel like Superfly. Okay,
That's
everybody else is probably too young to know about the Pusher Man Superfly.
No goodness. But I think I remember that Chantel likes Twizzlers. I think that's, yep, I do remember that.
Oh, Chantel, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at you. I'm so sorry. Really, look to the light. Just get one. Look to the light. Look to the
And be
light.
done with it. Be done with it. But this has
But
been
you know, I enjoy being here as well. You can call me anytime. You can think about it. If you think hard, you know I'm going to be there. So, and we enjoy. I want everybody to know this isn't us doing this for the audience. We do this anyway. That's why I'm glad you were
this,
able to connect all the dots because we go all over the place,
this
but
is
we
how we
enjoy each
be.
other.
Well,
Yeah.
and just as you, and just to say one more thing, it's like what you mentioned about mental health and the Black community and growing up in the 60s. I have ADHD all day long, had it then. Nobody knew what to
Yes.
call it. They just said, woo, that
Yes.
baby got a lot of energy. Let her go.
Yep. Yep.
But see, that's
Absolutely.
what,
I know I am too. We were just
go
we're
ahead.
too old to have been diagnosed.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They
Yeah,
didn't have the
I'm a
diagnosis.
diagnosis 100%. You, but we have made it work for us. For me, it is my superpower. I probably have more energy than any other 61-year-old on the planet besides you, because we probably like explode together. But you know what? I think it's important that we own the things about us that other
Yes.
people might inform us or say to us or make us think are weaknesses or wrong, because nothing about you is wrong. God made you in this body,
Yes.
this mind, this spirit, and we are to embrace it. Now, if something
Yes.
is not working for you, does not serve you, you don't have to stay with that.
Mm-mm.
But you get to enjoy and embrace all of your who you are-ness. And I love that in you, Paula. You have always done that.
You
And
as
so
well. You know that. We've
uh,
done that together. Whether we were in the
absolutely.
same space or not, we've always done it together. And that's what I appreciate.
I love
So
it. I love it.
I love
Jen
you
says it
much.
was a great session, fun, laughter, and love. Absolutely, baby.
Oh, that's it. Yes, Jennifer.
Absolutely.
We need a Tea Town talk. We need
Yes,
to be
we
on here
do.
one time just to talk about Tea Town.
Yes, the Crystal tea.
Yeah, look at me trying to be all proud of Toledo.
Yes, I know, me too, right? Merry Christmas, beauty, Chantel says, and Nana, Chantel's beautiful, Mama. This was
Oh,
great. Thank you, ladies. Thank
thank you
you.
all. Thank
Well,
you all for tuning in.
we have to do something to get my long time friend with my new long time friends in California, because I've gotten a chance to meet some of yours in Detroit. And so we'll have to get
Absolutely.
you guys over here as soon
Well,
as
I'll
it's
be there soon.
good.
I'll be coming soon. We're traveling again. And you know,
Oh, perfect.
any friend of yours is a friend of mine anyway. So,
With,
friends, I'm coming to see you, friends. I'll be
without
there. I'm
question.
coming. I keep trying to remember to look at the camera to say to them, I'm coming. I'll see you soon.
Now, is there any way that how do they find out about the work of the organization and where they
You can
can?
go to two different websites. Go to for Urban Health Resource in Detroit is UHR, UHR-UHO.org. That's Urban Health Resource
Okay,
hyphen
so me
Urban
that
Health
resource.
Outreach.
It's resource.
Okay,
Say that again.
it's
UHR dash.
UHR-UHO.org. Okay, and
Okay.
then the same thing with BWHI, which is Black Women's Health Imperative, BWHI.org.
All right. Something just happened here. Okay, there. And then so be Black
Well,
women.
if you go to uhr-uho.org, you can click to Black Women's. Well, they're redoing our website. You will see information about the Black Women's Health Imperative on there, though. You'll see that's one of our strategic partners, so they can look that up on there, and that will take them to theirs.
Imperative. And then just tell me that one again. BWHI.org.
Yes, and the program is CYL squared. There are a lot of other programs. The Black Women's Health Imperative is doing a lot of great things. I was not talking about them as much tonight because I'm on for UHR, but the Black
Is
Women's
that
Health Imperative
squared
is
with the two, or is that
that's CYL2 exponential though.
yeah, right up there?
Exponent, the exponent,
I'm just
yes.
gonna write squared, and you all know that that's
No,
what you're looking for.
CYL2. That's how we do CYL2, and you'll
Oh,
see it.
CYL2. Oh,
Hmm
What I do? Okay, yeah. CYL. Whoops.
2. The
2.
number 2. Yep.
All right. I'm gonna
Change your
put
lifestyle, change your life.
see as well. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
And but you'll see all kinds of other
oh, I
programs of
can't hear
interest.
you.
You
Oh,
talking to
no.
me?
Yeah, because
I said they'll also see a lot of other programs of interest. At some point, I'd like to talk about come back and talk about the importance of Black people participating in clinical trials. So we're doing an initiative with that. You know,
yes,
so many of the medications we take have an adverse effect on us or don't have the kinds of outcomes that we want because we aren't a part of the clinical trials. So please pay attention, look out for information on participating in clinical trials so that
yes,
medicines, therapies that we are a part of, that we have to be treated with, really have evidence-based information about us.
absolutely.
Okay.
You know, there is an organization called called Touch, Black Cancer. Let's see, Black Cancer. Ooh, it's
I know.
BCCA.
Okay.
I don't remember, but it's Touch BCCA, and the woman who is the founder and director is Ricky Fairley. And I had Ricky on the Black Women's Network, and she talked about that very thing, that the reason that our incidences of breast cancer, of dying from breast cancer, are higher
Mm-hmm.
is because some of the medications that save other races of women are not designed for our bodies because we are not connected to the studies. And so I think
Yeah.
so thank you for saying that. That was a bombshell at the end there. So you all go out there and participate in these studies. I know it's hard to do as a person of color, Black person in particular, because the history isn't great on that.
No. No.
But we are trying to move forward, and if we're going to maintain, if we're going to claim and maintain our health, we have to be part of this game. So
Yes.
again, I don't want to go, but thank
I
you,
know. I know.
Paula.
Thank you so
And
much. I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad that you asked me to be on with you tonight. Anytime. I
absolutely.
love it.
Absolutely. Chantel says that's an awesome subject. She'd love to hear more about the clinical trials. So maybe we'll have
Okay.
you and
Cool.
maybe some of your other coworkers come and give us a bit
Oh,
more
absolutely.
education on that, because I think education on this is how we get to know and grow. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much. See, because part of this was just about us and giggling and about our growing up years and our
And,
antics.
and, and we kept trying to bring it back to how we've been bosses
Yeah,
from
right.
birth. You
We've
know,
been bosses
bosses
since we
from
was
birth.
babies. Baby
But
bosses, y'all.
but it's all good. It's all
Yes.
good, and I'm really excited to have had this opportunity to be here and do it this way with you. We've sat and talked over drinks. We've had talks over food. We've talked over Pop Tarts, Prolamine, and vanilla yogurt, and now we're just doing this over the airwaves, and I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. We'll be back next week at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central Time, and 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So for all my friends on the East Coast, good night. And those of you who are on the West Coast, I know you still got stuff to do, but good night. And we also want to just remind you to come back next week, because my guest is going to be another long-time friend whom you know, Miss Sydney Wayne Davis, an amazing singer-songwriter, playwright, actress, diva of exponential magnitude. So I'm excited about that show as well. So, and maybe we'll get her to sing a note or two. All right.
Ooh.
So thank you again, Paula. Thank y'all out there. And remember, be the boss you were born to be. Step into your who you are-ness. Thank you. It's your girl, Sean LeRae. And we're saying good night.
Good night. Happy Chris Hanukkah.
Chris Quantica. Happy Chris Quantica. That's right. I love it. I love it. I'm going to use it.
It's not mine. I told her I was using it. So in the
All right.
universe.
Good night, y'all. Mwah.